Play cousin, wait. Before you open your brokerage account, there are some things that I need you to know because I see so many first-time investors make these same mistakes. They fall into these same traps, and I do not want it to happen to you. You'll feel confused, you'll feel overwhelmed, and that's normal. But today I'm going to make this so simple that you'll know exactly what you need to do. And look, I've been there. I get it. The first time I opened Think or Swim on TD Ameritrade, it looked like the module for a spaceship or something like that. So I understand. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to expect when opening your first brokerage account, and you won't fall into one of the biggest traps that I see a lot of first-time investors fall into. Let me know in the comments, what is the one thing, the biggest thing that's stopping you from opening a brokerage account? What is the biggest thing? Let me know in the comments. I'm Essence Revealed, and I am on this journey from actor to tractor as a middle-aged rookie trucker. And I want to take as many women over 40 as I can with me as I go on this journey for financial independence and life and location freedom. Even if you can't all reach financial independence, everyone can reach financial improvement. Number one, what to expect when opening the brokerage account. So a lot of times people feel like, why are they asking me all this personal information? Is it normal? Yes, they're going to ask for your social security number for security and identification reasons, also for tax reasons. Just like when you open a bank account, it's no different than that. So yes, it is completely normal for them to ask you that information. They'll ask you about your job information, where you work, your address, the address of your job. All of these things are normal things. These questions help the bank, the brokerage, avoid things like money laundering. I don't know if you watch true crime like I watch true crime, but people be trying to launder money. So they ask all these things to avoid that. Number two, now that we know that all of those things are normal, let's talk about something else, which is, why is the money that I put in just sitting there? And this is the biggest mistake that beginning investors make. So your money doesn't automatically invest itself. You put cash into the brokerage account, but then you have to choose what you want to put that money in, whether it's a stock or an index fund or an ETF. You have to decide where to put the cash. Otherwise, it's just going to sit there in cash, collecting maybe a couple percentages of interest, and that's it. And you don't want to make that mistake. I heard a story once of a woman who had for 20 years put money into her investment account. And when she was ready for a retirement, she realized she hadn't been investing in anything. She put the cash in thinking she was doing the right thing. She had it on autopilot, but she never chose index funds or stocks or mutual funds or anything. So it just sat there. And that is a big mistake that a lot of beginner investors make. So you have to choose what it is that you want to invest in. So I talk a lot in my community about investing in index funds so that you don't have to choose individual stocks. But then what is an index fund and what is an ETF, an exchange traded fund, and what are ticker symbols? So when you are choosing what you want to invest in, you need to know the ticker symbol. So for example, if you wanted to buy shares of Apple, the ticker symbol is AAPL. Or if you wanted to go into an S&P index fund, which a lot of people in my community start off with, their ticker symbol is VOO, or there's a ticker symbol VTI. If you are with a particular broker, they may have their own ticker symbol for an S&P index fund. So you need to know what ticker symbol it is that you want to invest your money into. All right, so we're choosing ticker symbols, but how do I know what ticker symbol I even want to invest in? Well, the easy way to start, like I mentioned before, is to choose something like an S&P index fund. It's something that Warren Buffett, who is one of the greatest investors of our time, suggests. And it's something that I suggest beginner investors start with while they continue to learn. So it's an easy way to get started, which is safer. Of course, investing in the market is never risk-free, but on average, over the long term, which is what we want to do when we're investing for long-term buying and holding, the S&P 500 is the benchmark that everyone's trying to beat. And in the long term, on average, it tends to give you about 10% per year. The last 2 years, it's done closer to 23 or 24%. which is great considering that a savings account in your bank is going to give you 0.0 something percent. So maybe as you learn more, you may want to diversify your portfolio and invest in individual stocks. But until you get that knowledge and learning and you know what it is that you're choosing and why, then index funds are a great way to start for beginner investors. One of the biggest things that I hear is people think that investing is so complicated and so difficult. But a way that you can make it even less complicated and less difficult is setting up your contributions to be auto deposited into your account. So you can decide, I'm going to take this percentage of my check every week or this percentage of my pay every month, and automatically I'm going to connect it to my checking account, because that is how money goes back and forth between your brokerage account. It's connected to your checking account. And then you can have an auto deposit set up so that automatically, without having to think, that money is just deposited. A lot of people say set it and forget it. I wouldn't say set it and forget it, but I would say set it and check it like once a quarter, right? But putting that auto debit is important, because the most important thing to allow your money to grow, to allow those percentages to compound and let compound interest do the heavy lifting, discipline and time. Discipline and time are the two most important factors. So if you're on auto deposit, you don't even have to think about it. It's just happening. If this is making sense to you so far and you're getting some value from this video, please hit that subscribe button. And if you feel like you need a little bit more help, I do have a free 14-day challenge that is like little 5-minute bite-sized videos that will explain stock market and investing basics for you. It is available in my community, and I will put the link to it down below. If you've ever logged into a brokerage account for the first time and you felt confused, let me know in the comments by commenting invested with a question mark or invested with the shrug emoji, because I know what that can be like. I have been there. Let me know if you've been there. All right. So you know that you need to choose an investment, but what do you pick? A lot of times I hear people say I don't know what to choose. I don't want to choose wrong. How do I even pick? So I am not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. I'm just sharing with you what has worked for me. So the easiest first investment you can go with is something like an S&P index fund, like I talked about before. And there are ticker symbols for S&P index funds, such as VTI, which is a Vanguard Total Stock Market, or VOO. Or if you are with Fidelity, there's FXIAX. Each brokerage will have their own version of an S&P index fund. But that is one of the easiest things you can do to get started so that you can start growing your money with compound interest and then learn more, because maybe you'll decide that you want to invest in individual stocks or other index funds in different sectors. What you also want to do is set it up to be auto deposited into the account. You want to set it on automatic so you don't have to think about it, because that consistency is a key to growing your wealth. It's all about how much time you have in the market. There's a saying that goes, time in the market is more important than timing the market. Some people try to say, oh, I'm going to take all my money out when the market is really high and I'll go back in when it's low. But study after study has shown that people that just consistently put their money in every week for years and years and years and years win. They beat out the people that are trying to jump in and out, right? So that consistency is very important. So set it on autopilot. I don't say, like I said before, we're not setting it and forgetting it, but we are going to set it and check it maybe once a quarter. You don't have to look at it every single day. If you're a woman, especially a woman 40 plus, and you want to join my journey to financial freedom, that link will be in the description for you to join. Get the free 14-day challenge so that you learn step by step in little bite-sized portions how to navigate what is the stock market, how to start investing, and you can join me on this journey. Part 4. This is a final tip that I want to give you. Even after watching this video, if you go to open your brokerage account and when you get in there and you start seeing everything and you feel overwhelmed, call customer service. Pick up the phone, call customer service, and just say to them, I've never opened a brokerage account before, or this looks very overwhelming to me. Can you please help me walk through the steps of opening a brokerage account and putting my money in? Ask them, how long will it take for my cash to clear? There've been a lot of scams. Like there was one where people on TikTok were writing checks to themselves for money they didn't have, depositing it, and then withdrawing the money that you get some of before the whole thing clears. So some brokerages might be holding your money for 7 business days or 5 business days or 2 or 3 business days because they want to make sure that they stay on top of not getting any fraudulent activities happening. So ask them, call customer service, ask them any questions you have. They will sit on the phone with you while you're in front of your laptop or on your phone and walk you through the steps of opening the account. Now tell me in the comments what's one thing that you feel more confident about after watching this video. I want to hear about it. So now we know what to expect when you first open that brokerage account and feel all that, what are all these buttons? Am I flying a spaceship or opening an account? You know what to expect now. You know that the biggest mistake that a beginner can make is putting cash in there, but then not choosing any investments. So you have to choose an investment, and you know that you need to choose a ticker symbol, right? And we know that choosing your first investment, an easy way to go is choosing an S&P 500 index fund, right? And then the fourth thing we know to do is to call customer service if we're feeling overwhelmed by all the sections and buttons and things, right? So we have those 4 steps that we can take. Now, I'm going to also put a link in the description to a 4-part series that I did with different questions that people ask me about investing and different help to give you a little bit more information. So I'll put a link to that 4-part series. Okay, great. So now you have your brokerage account set up, but where do you find the money to put in it, right? So in my next video, I'm going to be going over my budget and how much money I spend when I'm over the road in the truck. And I'm going to show you a few different ways of budgeting your money so that you can maybe find where there's any leaks or any extras that you can use to put into a brokerage account. So we'll figure that out. So make sure that you stay on the lookout for that next video.